Hey ladies and gentlemen, it's your boy Stick coming back at you with yet another new video, and today we are... Oh my god, I'm sorry. I've been trying to do this intro like 30 fucking times and something keeps happening. A lot is different for this episode. Right now I am recording through OBS on my computer, and that's a big difference, and I'm not sure if I'm going to stick with it. I mean, I probably will, because the new way of doing interviews is through Zoom, and oh my god, I need to fuck with my hair. And why not just do it with your DSLR? The only thing is I keep having issues with every little thing, and I'm trying to figure it out. But I lucked out with one thing, and that was the interview I did. Now, the guy I interviewed today was a guy that I pretty much want on the podcast since I started it, and a guy that we've been talking about doing content or even doing an interview for a very, very long time. And after 3 years of hounding this guy, he finally came on my podcast. And the man I finally got on my podcast is my good buddy, has a podcast of his own. His name is CraftWoody. Now, CraftWoody is a co-host of a podcast called Makes and Beers, where they pretty much just try out new craft beers, review them, and then just go on to a random topic that turns out to be pretty entertaining. And oh my god, that just fucking came through. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm very frustrated, and I guarantee you just heard a because my audio is great. But I'm honestly lazy, so I don't need to edit it this time. But Woody is a huge craft beer drinker, and you can check out their podcast via YouTube, Spotify, Anchor.fm, and you can follow them on Instagram and that type of stuff. They advertise a lot of the local craft breweries around my area, and honestly, he's just a good guy to interview. I came into this interview pretty nervous, using Zoom for the first time, wasn't sure how I was going to feel about it, but I think it all worked out for the best. And it was a good conversation. I'm glad the first one back since Quinn Mar, it was Woody, because he really kept me sane because I was nervous. Might be a little bit more swearing than usual. Just being nervous doesn't help. And we talked about a bunch of different stuff. We talked about how we've eased up on the drinking, how we switched from regular beer to craft beer, hobbies, just a bunch of different topics. It pretty much is just like a little conversation I think you will enjoy. And if you like this, please leave a like, subscribe to my channel, go check out their podcast because it's actually very entertaining. And they were on a long hiatus and they come back, and we talk about that in this episode. I am blowing this intro, so I'm just going to stop talking and you can just watch the episode. So I'm going to roll the intro. Check out their stuff. If you're watching this on YouTube, all their links will be in the description down below. And if you're on Spotify, type in the Mikes and Beers podcast, and it will all pop up. All right. I blew this intro, but I've done it so many goddamn times. I don't care. I don't care. Welcome to the Honestly Lazy Podcast. Roll the intro.
After high demand.
Listening to you and Justin, that's a professional podcast right there.
The man with a voice.
He's got a wicked voice on it too. He does. He's got like, oh my goodness. I listen to his voice. I'm like, dude, you could go places with that voice. You are freaking phenomenal.
Has his own podcast. And what does he think?
Oh,
BoyStick presents the Honestly Lazy Podcast.
all right. So pretty much right now, I got my buddy Ryan Wood from Mikes and Beers podcast. I have no plans for this interview. I just said, fuck it. I've been bugging him on Twitter and on Facebook. Let's fucking do this. And finally, like, what the hell? What took you so long to actually come on the show, man? I'm very offended.
You know what? And it's true. It's been years in the making. We have talked about this since you've started your podcast way back. It's been about 2 years now, hasn't it? I believe.
I think it's been a year.
And I keep dodging, I keep ducking you. I don't want to sign. You're not offering me the right contracts, but I kind of realized why I haven't come on. You got my name wrong, boy. I'm CraftWoody. You just threw over the veil. You just gave away the name.
Whatever, CraftWoody. It is funny though, like with everybody that I hang out with now, that you hang out with, they all call you CraftWoody.
Yeah, it's weird. I went from Ryan to Woody, and that stood for years and years, and then now it's just like, okay, let's give him his gimmick name. You can be CraftWoody. I'm like, all right, let's do it.
So we're going to do something a little bit here that we got to do for your podcast. You always do this, is you crack a beer at the beginning of your podcast. So do you have a beer? Do you have
Absolutely, but I don't go anywhere without one.
You drive with a beer?
No, hey, I don't go anywhere in my home without a beer.
All right, fair enough. What you got? What you got today?
I'm actually representing hometown brewery Chronicles out here in Bowmanville, Ontario, Canada, and I'm drinking one of their newer ones, the Flatwood Monster. It's a New England IPA, clocking in at 6%. So can't wait to try this bad boy.
All right, so and I'm a Bud drinker. By the way, I'm not a oh yeah, see, we're going to talk about this, motherfucker. So right now, just because he's a craft drinker, I'm drinking Tatra. It's a Polish beer. My girlfriend's parents are Polish, and they introduced me to it, and turns out I like it. So I can open my mind every once in a while. All right, let's crack this shit.
Shit, every time it goes to my keyboard.
All right.
God damn.
So let's start this off properly. And because Mikes and Beers have been around I was working at Tim Hortons with the original host Hodder. So it's been around for 4 or 5 years now, hasn't it?
Yeah. Which doesn't make us sound good because we have 25 episodes and we've been out for like that long, where at first our like you said, our host that was once with us, he's not like gone, like we kicked him out, but it's one of those things where when me and him first started, we just wanted to do a monthly podcast. He has his own. So he did his weekly, and he's like, hey, I want to just blow off steam now. Let's kind of like what we want to do today. We're going to shoot the shit. So he's like, I want to build a podcast like that. So we started off doing it monthly. We brought on our other co-host, Sam. We started to get a roll for it. Me and her really started to like it. Said, fuck it, let's keep pushing it. We want to go bi-weekly, and we want to make it a little serious. Like, let's get the name built up. So like I'm rocking my t-shirt here. We got a little bit of the merchandise. We're trying to go to local breweries, just see, like I said, make a name for ourselves. And that's just kind of how we're going right now. That's our direction.
It's crazy though, because I remember when it first started, because I worked with TJ, so he would give me the updates with everything with the podcast, and I was doing BoyStick a lot. Like working at Timmy's, you wouldn't come home so tired that you didn't want to record. Like at my new job, like that's why, like same thing. I've been around for a year and I only have not even 20 episodes on the podcast yet. Like at this point, like I said to you, and as people know, I've pre-recorded a few episodes to get me rolling again. But I remember him starting out the Mikes and Beers podcast, and he said it was always just random people. But every time you were on, and it wasn't like he was like, this is my co-host. He was literally just saying, oh no, Woody's just always there when I do it. And then one day he just came out to me. He's like, all right, man, like I have to make him my co-host. And I was saying to myself, like, no shit. Like, cause like you are a very entertaining guy to like listen to, like to hang out with. It's like each time we hang out, it's a blast to just like, just cause like, especially with like when me and you are hanging out, we're usually either jamming or we're at the racetrack. And it's just a fucking relaxing time, but it's like you have the personality to do this type of stuff. So did you really think that you were going to do this pretty much how you're doing it now? Or was it just like, fuck it, whenever? Because like at first you were just kind of on there. Did you think you'd actually become a co-host?
Oh, it's a good question. Like I know when he first started off, his very first episode, he brought in 2 other guys. They just decided, hey, let's just do this. And then I think it just kind of came down. He wanted to try something new, brought me on. And I literally treated, I think the first 4 episodes, like I was just hanging out with a buddy, shooting the shit just for the novelty of podcasting. Because I wasn't big to it back then, didn't know much about it. So as time went on and we started pushing social media a bit, then I'm like, oh fuck, not that we can make a go out of it, but okay, maybe we can, have a little bit of fun. Maybe we can get recognized by a beer company or something. And I said, yeah. When he then said, Wood, you're the co-host. You're on all the time. we'll bring in the third guest randomly. We'll talk about it. I loved it. I was like, let's make it go.
Yeah.
And as of right now, like I still thought to now doing a bi-weekly show with our other co-host, I didn't quite think we'd get there because we took a big long hiatus. I think we were down for like 9 months or so. And it was just like, holy fuck, we're dead. We're dead in the water. We're done. And we revived it. And yeah, I'm happy where we are now. But definitely at the beginning, no, I did not think I was going to be a co-host. Didn't think we'd have t-shirts. Didn't think we'd be kind of getting at first, like we were reached out by one company, like didn't see it coming. So it's really cool that we've got to evolve like this. So yeah, I'm happy with it so far. I want to get bigger, and we'll see what happens from there.
Because with me and my podcasting and just making content in general, I always have the goal of, I want to do it full time,
Yeah.
Like I went to school for film and I've always loved audio. I love recording. I love just microphones in general. I love talking. Like I'm a jabberjaw for God's sakes. But so if you had the opportunities, I don't want to get into your job just because it's kind of like very kind of top secret. I don't want to.
Well, no, it's not top secret. I just can't give away like client details.
Yeah, and
like
you can't.
Like,
I don't want to bring it up because like it's a very professional. It's like a career job. Like I look at your job as a career. But if you had a chance to do Mike and Beers full time, would you give up that job and do Mike's and Beers, or would you stick with that and say, no, I just want to stick or just do this as a hobby?
To be honest, I'd love to do both. I would want to make it work where I think we're what we have Mike's and Beers going as bi-weekly. Me and my co-host, I'm lucky enough with my job. I do have Saturdays and Sundays off. So we always try to shoot for recording then. But I love what I do. Like I can say I work with children with autism. I'm a behavior technician, kind of like an IBI instructor, which think of it as I'm sitting one-on-one with them, just teaching them life skills, academic skills, which it could be like them teaching them how to dress, toilet, talk, match things, talk. And I love what I do. I get such a good feeling from it, being able to help kids in that scenario who normally wouldn't get those opportunities if they weren't in my system. But I do love podcasting too. It's one of those things where I don't see myself ever getting paid for this.
Nobody does.
Exactly. Like I don't shoot for that. Like to me, my goal would be do bi-weekly. And once in a while, a beer company says, hey, we like your guys' shit. Here's a new beer that we got coming out. Shout us out, do the video on us, post it on your social media, and we'll just hand you beer for free. We'll send you guys a 6-pack. I'd be like, I made it. I'm in the big time now. If I get a 6-pack sent to me, I'm like, done. Check. I'm huge.
I mean, like, and that's the crazy thing about you is when I first met you, it was everyone said it because I got introduced to you from my older brother Brandon. Mm-hmm. And Brandon said no one can outdrink Woody. Like it's impossible to outdrink this guy. And I'm like, I want to try so hard. But by the time I was drinking with you, you're like, no, I don't drink like that anymore. And then when we went to the racetrack, I drank with you all night and you woke up the next day and told me, I think you could like go toe to toe with me because that night everyone went to bed and me and you and Nathan were still going, but like Nathan was easing up and me and you were still slamming drinks. So what kind of made you stop like getting that messed up? Because I'm still terrible. I still get drunk a lot. I still get wasted. But like, what made you finally just say, screw it? I'm not trying to be the top drinker, outdrink everybody.
I'd say it's 3 different reasons. And the biggest one that was for me is age. My body can't handle it anymore. Like I was at a point where in college, a 2-4 could sometimes last if it was a whole day party, like let's say St. Patty's Day. Yeah. I was the guy, I'd crack a beer at 8 a.m., stop at 5 or not 5 in the morning, but like 3 in the morning, like it's 8 a.m. to 3 a.m. drinking, but still napping and eating. And I could take down a 2-4 in a night, 12 to 18 beers, not a problem. And still go out, like partying, clubbing, whatever the fuck. But then it just got to a point the body couldn't handle it. I find myself, I get drunk a little bit quicker. I definitely changed up my beer. Like the craft beers I'm drinking, they're not the 4 and 5% anymore. I'm going 6 to 7%. They sit a little differently now, but I'm an old man, buddy. I can't be doing it anymore. Money's a big thing. I couldn't afford doing it every weekend when parties were happening. Like, yeah, let's get fucking 2-4. My beer budget went to shit. And to be honest, I got sick of hangovers. That was another huge reason. I fucking hate partying on a Saturday going hard because I still will do it once in a while. If it's a buddy's birthday, we haven't seen each other like this fucking COVID shit. Once
Yeah.
we get together, I'm gonna just have a great night. But I hated Saturday night doing that. And Sunday, your whole day's gone because you just fucking feel like garbage. And it's like,
Oh,
oh,
yeah.
I'm got my own place now. I got shit to do. I can't just say for a whole day I'm doing nothing and tell my fiance, good fucking luck, you're doing everything. Because one,
Yeah.
I'll die. She'll kill me before the booze will.
Yeah, because
Yeah,
I had just moved in with my girlfriend, and it was like because you were at my house, like the highway house, and that place was a shit show. That was 3 years of doing what you just described. Wake up,
Yeah.
drink, and like, but we would do it Friday and Saturday for like 2 years. And the last year, we're like, just Saturday, we'll day drink. Like just a cancerous place to live in. And the fact that my girlfriend, like we were seeing each other, and she would come over, and the fact that you'd spend the night in that place. And I mean, like, we'd have the beer pong table, and we'd never like empty out the cups for like 2 weeks, like of
oh,
water.
buddy.
Oh yeah, like
Ah.
it was, and like everyone called it a frat house, which I didn't, because first of all, I don't dress like a frat boy. I don't act like a frat boy. I don't got Toronto Maple Leafs tattooed on me. I got a tape cassette tattooed on me. Like, I'm not a frat boy, but it was just like, if I could describe that house, it was like the house on Workaholics. Just fucking disgusting. But I mean, like, every weekend, it got to the point every weekend, people were just coming in my door and just like, we're drinking. Like, Woody, I mean, they would just come through my door, not text me. They just open up the door, come in with a case of beer, like, you want a drink? And it's like, well, you're fucking here. Yeah, let's drink, right? But
I was planning to go do shit, but okay.
yeah, literally.
Thanks for showing up.
Yeah, literally. And it would be like that. Like, we'd be in the middle of cutting the grass and people would show up, or we'd be in the middle of cleaning the house and people would show up, or we would clean the house just for people to come in that night and fucking destroy it. So
Yeah.
So moving in with the girlfriend, like, changed it all. Like, she like had like I remember the first time I grew my beard, I left some beard hair in the sink, and she snapped. She's like, "This is disgusting. I want it cleaned up."
Yeah.
I'm like, how'd you not say anything at the highway house? Because we never cleaned the beard hair. And she was just like, I bit my tongue. I was like, oh fuck. Like, living with the girl has definitely helped me with, like, I still, like, with her on a Saturday night, she doesn't really drink, which is the weirdest thing. She doesn't drink. Like dating a guy like me. Like, dating a guy like me who gets drunk. Like, I'll drink like 6 beer with her. We'll watch movies and I'll drink, and then I just hop on my computer and play video games. But like it used to be like on a Friday or Saturday night, if it wasn't with her, I would sit there and drink a 12 pack of 2-4, drinking a 40 of rum by myself. So she's definitely helped me ease up on my boozing. But it's just like a big game changer moving in with a girl.
Fucking right, man. It is a culture shock. Cause I laughed when you said the beard thing. One of our first fights, because like, hey, I got a beard too, and it was a lot longer, and you knew me. It was straggly. Like, I had some shithole beards. So I remember, that was problems I faced. There was times where it's like, hey, if I lived at, like, back when I was in college and all that, I could leave my clothes around. I didn't give a shit. I'll pick them up in my room whenever I want or whatnot. That's not fucking acceptable anymore.
No.
Not vacuuming or pitching in with dishes is not fucking cool. It's a culture shock, because like I felt bad if that's how the highway house was done. Like, it sucks when people don't respect your place, because it's one of those things where, sure, we'll be the party house, we'll have a great time and all that, but fucking, I would lose my mind if I had my full house like to myself and with my fiance, if people just drop by randomly. After a while, I'd be like, guys, fucking, you can't, if you don't text me or call me, you ain't fucking coming in. You're not treating my place like this. This shit doesn't roll anymore. We're not in that part of our lives. And that's the biggest thing. Maybe not even to do with age. It's where we are in life. Like, this just ain't the norm anymore, boys. So either I'm coming to your fucking place and I can do this to yours, or you need to, like, properly let me know what's going on. We can plan. I can get my place cleaned up. And then you fucking respect it when you're here and don't treat it like a goddamn shithole. Because I party at your place twice. And man, it was a fun time. Don't get me wrong. I had a blast drinking with you guys because we got to go sit in the living room. It was a little weird because there's a big age difference. So partying with the youngins again was, you had the 2 old timers show up with the guitars, be like, all right, we'll drink, we'll play beer pong. But yeah, it was fun. But yeah, ultimately with that, it's too bad they didn't give you the respect. And that's what's nice about having I'm sure you can attest, having the girlfriend, because they just kind of say, our place isn't being a shithole. You can come
No.
home, it's nice and clean, it's yours, and it's just that much more pride that you can take, and it's awesome.
Exactly. So, all right, I got another question because you're drinking craft beer, but
Oh, yeah.
you used to go to the Bar Busters. Like, you remember that
Oh, yeah.
fucking greasy place, but
Oh, yeah.
everyone loved it. So back then, what was your beer choice? Because you weren't a craft beer drinker when I first met you. You were drinking everything but craft beer because it was cheaper.
And you know what? I didn't really care for craft beer.
Mm.
And I've said that once before on our podcast. It was something that craft beer I just wasn't there yet. For me, like when I first started drinking, when I was a younger guy, and people would help buy it for me, my siblings, not my parents, or we had good beer. So I started on Molson Canadian for a little bit.
Ooh,
and then when it was time, like, oh, hey, my mind quickly changed because I then had to say, oh, it's expensive. So I went to cheap shit. So back in the day, when Lakeport was 2.4 for a 2.4, drank that dirt hole beer for a long time, and I'd still drink it now, but it's gross. Then went to McClay's, and
McClay's isn't that bad though.
I like McClay's. McClay's and Carling was actually two I drank for a very long time. They were a little cheaper, but they got the job done. And then I switched to Blue. I was a Labatt Blue guy and I still am. I love that beer. And I'd get made fun of so much because I think only me and another buddy, our mutual friend Nathan from the Nuke Duo, we love that shit, but everybody would make fun of us. And then I started to get more into the craft beer, and then that's all she wrote. I was like, okay, now I got to try this IPA. I got to try their lager. I got to try this and that. And it was just more fun. It was more of an fun experience to go out and literally be like, oh, what do you got? What do you got? Because that's my biggest thing. Why I was, I guess you could say, a heavyweight drinker, and maybe you could attest too. I don't drink to get plastered. I drink because I like the taste of alcohol. I like a drink in my hand. I enjoy drinking. Yeah. Oh yeah, borderline against that point.
Shaking at right now that beer.
I mean, well, could be. But yeah, with craft beer, it was all those different flavors, new tastes. So it's like I'm jumping on the bandwagon. I'm on it. A little bit more expensive, but I fucking that. So yeah, my drink of choice now is any Ontario craft beer. I try to get on, but if I had to go domestic, it's going to be a Labatt Blue. I'm still going to be a blue guy until I die.
See, for me, when I started drinking, I was the same thing. I started out cheap. So I remember the first thing I ever got drunk on, the first beer, and you're not going to like it because it was 2 packs of cold shots. $5.
Never had cold shots.
Well, they were $5 for 4, so $10. I was broke. I didn't have a job yet. Same thing. Got a sibling. Bought these 2 fucking things of 6% Molson cold shots, and they would get you fucking tanked. 8 of them, and they're meant for, like, they used to have a little target at the bottom of the can, like right here, just to show you where you put the key in to shotgun them. Like this. Oh, they were literally meant for shotgunning. Huh? And I drank 8 of them, and I was falling over drunk. I was 15, and then I started working. So I went to James Ready, another very cheap and disgusting beer. So literally what happened, I realized with my personality, if I like something, I stick to it. I have a lunch that I make every single day for work. I've never changed it. Just the same things mixed into one. Fuck it. I've never changed it. I I eat the same thing for lunch on the weekends and shit. Yep. But I remember I was going to a party. I gave my dad the money, and he said, what do you want? Oh, no, it wasn't my dad. It was my brother. My dad was sitting with my brother. My dad didn't care. He was drinking underage too.
Yeah, right? We were all from the country. Nobody gave a shit.
Yeah, so my brother's like, what do you want? And I was like, oh, I'll take James Ready. And my dad was saying there, he's like, don't fucking buy him James Ready. And I was like, why? He's like, dude, you actually save your money, unlike your other brother who fucking is spending it every day. He's like, he's like, Brandon, buy him Budweiser. And he looked at me. He's like, you ever had Bud? I was like, no. And he was like, all right, well, Brandon, buy him Bud. And ever since, been drinking Bud ever since.
You fucking NASCAR country boys and your goddamn Budweiser. You know what? I will take Molson Canadian over. I'd take a Coors Light over Budweiser any goddamn day.
You know what's funny is a lot of my friends are drinking Coors Light now.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like Alex, my brother Alex, like he drinks it. That's all he drinks because he can drink it all day. Brandon, each time I go with my other brother Brandon's, he always has Coors Light. I'm like, and my dad drinks Sleeman Light. And out of all the light beers, Sleeman Light is my favorite. It's the smoothest beer.
does he now? I should have said and it's funny you say that because I'm stupid because the Black Blue is not the number one I drink. I just love it, and I totally forgot the other one. Does your dad drink Sleeman Clear 2.0? Because that's the one I drink, and I think it tastes like a fucking awesome light beer. Half the carbs, half the calories. Ooh, that's a good domestic.
Well, I mean that it's a good beer because especially like my dad has high blood pressure and shit. He can drink that, and it's like it helps you like literally if you're trying to lose weight and shit. It's good beer because it has less shit. And by the way, it's very hard to get drunk off it. I've tried. I've drank a lot of it. I'm like, wow, I'm not even tipsy. So I switch over to my rum. So do you drink only craft beer or do you drink liquor too?
Well, if I could turn my camera around and show you the liquor cabinet. So I'm just gonna look up and I can rhyme off. I have a half bottle of Deanston Virgin Oak Scotch up there. I have 6 bottles of Wiser's, the NHL alumni edition. So they're all done up in different ways, like Clark, Lanny McDonald, Messier.
No way, that's sweet.
I have the Gibson 150th Canada Day bottle. Because I was like, you're never going to see that bottle again because we'll never have a 150th Canada Day birthday. I have a Centennial whiskey bottle up there. And what the fuck's up there? Another one. I can't see it from back here. I have about 8 or 9 bottles of either Scotch or whiskey because I love Orion Ginger. Oh. I fucking love those.
If I could drink it, I get angry on that shit. I'm an angry drunk on the rye. I'm a rum drinker. I'm a Captain Morgan's man. Oh, Captain, my Captain.
There you go. And you know what? It's funny you say that. I know so many rye people, and you see a personality twist. Not heavy. Like I know my fiance, she says I get a lot more mouthier and more playful. Like, you know how me and you have bickered and stuff like that comes out a bit more, a lot more talkative, a lot louder, and just kind of like more goofy. Like she says that you can see the dial be turned up with me, but I know people just like you've said, like one of my coworkers, I drank with her a couple of times. I always say, let's get the whiskey going. Let's have fun. She's like, no, I'll fight you. She's like, I'm like that. She's like, I'm that kind of bitch that just, one of those things is said wrong, I don't hold back. And I'm like, yeah, it's weird that whiskey does that because I know a shit ton of rum drinkers. I don't see that out of rum. I don't see that out of vodka. I don't see that out of tequila. I don't see that besides whiskey.
All right, tequila is just one that makes everybody puke, man. I've never seen an Aldred drink tequila and not puke. I've been able to take one shot, but if you give me more than one, it's coming straight back up. My dad was the same way. I watched my brother puke down to Niagara Strip because he took that stuff. Oh yeah, like it's just a weird thing. But for me, I've drank whiskey a few times, and I didn't get like I want to fight. But, you know, people started irritating me for the stupidest reasons. I'm like, that's the liquor, because that would not bug me at all. That's the whiskey. But when I drink rum, I fucking get, like, you saw me at Mossborough. I was drinking it all day, and I was just giggling, and like I wasn't even slurring. But I would say out of both my brother Alex can drink a lot, but he falls over and passes out. Brandon, he says he can drink a lot, and you witnessed him, and you probably would say he can. But
back in our prime. Back in me and his prime, we would fucking drink like fishes. Now, not so much.
But same thing. He passes out early. I can drink, and I can still do this. I can drink, and I can go all night. Like me and Nathan literally run every night at Mossport, 4 hours of sleep, waking up, drinking more. And it's like, I don't know how the fuck I can do it. Like, but I'm like you. I'm not looking to get drunk. Yeah. Like at Mossport, I'm not getting sloppy drunk. I'm just slowly drinking throughout the day, and it kicks in. Where other people, like once they start getting drunk, they like my brothers, they start just pounding it, and you can't do that.
No, it's I see that, and I was gonna say with liquor drinkers, but it's beer. It's anybody with that mentality, and it's nothing against them if that's the way. Sure, I feel like when you get those kind of people, when they open a beer or a bottle of liquor, they got to drink it right away, or it's going bad. It's like, guys, pace yourself. Yeah, it's gonna be okay. We're gonna get through the day because I've seen you at Mossport. I've seen people at cottage weekends. I've seen them at festivals. You can tell the difference of people who are there to get fucking plastered or those who are there for a good time with alcohol induced fun. Yeah. And it's a world of a goddamn difference. Like how when we talked about your brother, Alex, love you guys. But I have a tough time drinking with Alex because the last time he tried to fight me and he was just joking. Like it was one of those things. It was just kind of like, it was the first time where we had the jam session downstairs.
Oh,
it was
right,
me
yeah.
and he was tanked and it was just like, Woody, I'll fucking fight you. And I was just like, no, man, I love you, but I'm not fighting you. And he was so cool, but he's like, all right. And I was like, buddy,
Relax.
let's go have a beer together. But he would do that. If I said, buddy, let's have a beer, he's the guy, he put the arm around you, be like, man, let's do it. I love it. Let's have a beer.
Yeah.
But he was the guy who's not afraid to fight. It's like, Alex, I don't want to fucking fight you. Let's have a beer. Let's hug it out.
Yeah.
I'll make out with you before I fight you, for fuck's sakes. Like, get out of here.
Do you remember the first jam session I was at Nathan's? Do you remember that?
No, man,
first
I
time?
was drinking.
So was
I
I.
don't remember shit.
I remember the first time I went to Nathan's was the first time. All right, this is what I respect about Woody here. So first time I went to Nathan's, I'm nervous as fuck. Obviously, never played with Nathan before. I know how good he is, but he comes down, he gets me comfortable and shit, and then you came down. And you're like, how's it going? I think you had like 4 craft beers in your hand or liquor or something. But I remember you sat down and Nathan's like, Woody's got his own microphone. And Woody, and he pulls out this microphone. I'm like, oh, Woody, can you sing? And you're like, no. And I was like, what? He's like, yeah, no, I just sing. And it's like, fuck, man, you have the confidence of someone I wish I had. Because I write songs, but I can't sing for fuck. But when I get drunk, I'll sing. But you do that shit completely sober. You'll just sit around and sing all night. Like, what? How do you get this confidence?
For me, it's the biggest thing is who I'm around.
Yeah.
Like if I'm out, let's say like I was out at a fire with your buddies, if I'm not drinking, like guys I don't really know, or if I'm out with complete strangers, like if I just went to a bar, like for a karaoke night, it takes a lot to get me up because I have the confidence when I'm around people. Like when I'm with you and we're talking about our buddy Nathan, he's a great musician, part of the Nuke Duo, a fun little bar band out of the Durham region here in Ontario, Canada. But it does take a bit for me, and alcohol will help. So if I'm even sit with people I kind of know, a few drinks to loosen me up and say, hey, we're going to do this song. And if I know it, I love it. I'm like, yeah, I'll sing in the background. I'll harmonize with you. I won't do the melody. I'm not taking lead. But when I'm with just my closest friends, it's like, I don't give a shit. I know no one's judging because we're not there to perform and impress anybody. It's just, we're here for the fucking fun of it. Half the songs we do, we're like, let's just test it. They could say, hey, we're going to do such and such song. We never played it before. Fuck it. I remember the one time we tried Down with the Sickness by Disturbed. None of us have played it.
Oh
I cannot fucking sing like that guy because he is fantastic. Half the musicians we had down there, like our drummer and our other guitarist, never really touched that stuff. They don't know what the fuck they were doing. And Breeze had an idea, but we just said, fuck it, let's sing it. We knew it. Like, song was over. We're like, that sounded like shit. But all right, let's keep going, boys. This is good. And that's all we had. So like,
oh, go ahead. Keep going. Sorry.
Oh, sorry, buddy. No, I was gonna say it's alcohol induced confidence, but I need that comfort of buddies. Where that no judgment kind of that atmosphere. It's so much easier. But yeah, you won't catch me up like saying, I'm gonna go perform in random people. It just doesn't happen because then I start to go on my own voice, being like, oh, I'm my own worst critic. I'm like, nope, I can't fucking do this. And even with buddies, I got to be singing the right shit, or I know I sound like crap, and then I won't do it.
I had this one experience at the, I don't know what we should call Nathan's basement, like the jam room or something like that.
That's just our jam place.
So I remember I went there and our regular drummer was there, and it was just me. Well, I walked in and my brother Brandon was there, which was at this point, that was the night you called and announced your engagement, actually, this night.
Yep.
So Brandon was there and I walked in to them doing Kickstart My Heart. And I didn't even know my brother could play that. And he shredded it. And Nathan was screwing up on the bass and he's hitting, like, I thought he sounded like Vince Neil. I was like, wow, you're better than Vince Neil. Like, Vince Neil sucks at singing. Like, he's just like, you've seen those fucking videos of him on YouTube singing Bob Dylan. He's not good. Like, Bob Dylan cover band makes sense, but not Motley Crue anymore. But Nathan's saying these notes and he finished. I'm like, holy shit, that sounded really good. And he was just like, yeah, no, that was bad, man. That was bad. I was like, what the fuck is wrong with it? But then here's I fucked up the songs because Nathan learned a Heart song, the one that starts with the acoustic at the beginning of it. And
I can't think of it either. I have a feeling the minute I hear the tune, I'd be like, "Yep, that's it." I can tell you, but
it's a heart song. And Nathan came out to my place and we were sitting on the front porch during COVID. We did at like 6 feet away, like just the two of us playing. This is when COVID, they were like 10 people out outside. So he snuck out because he wanted to do some acoustic stuff and he was playing it. But that night I was drunk and I said, I fucking thought it was Barracuda. I said, let's play Barracuda. I watched you play it the other day. And Nathan's like, oh, fuck, I don't know how to play it, but we're doing it. And this guy and Garrett, or I'll just say it, Garrett, our drummer, fuck it. Like, he knows who he is. He's just like, all right, fuck it. He just starts doing a drum beat. And like, oh my God, we got halfway through the song and we all just stopped and looked at each other like, that sounded like, we didn't even finish the song. We were just like, that sounded like shit. And we couldn't, like, I was like 4 beats behind Nathan. I'm not sure where Garrett, like, I was so bad. I was on bass, like, 3rd time ever fucking playing the thing. Like, I've had a lot of fun in that basement. Like, I messaged Nathan. The one thing that he needs to stop doing is give me the last minute, we're jamming tonight. It's like, I'm fucking drunk. I can't go.
Yeah. And like I said, hey, going back to early in the conversation, it's the same thing with how people treat the house. If you want to set stuff up now, we're at a point in our lives. We got jobs, we got other responsibilities.
Yeah.
We used to do that in our group. 10-minute warning, we're on our way to your house. Just put on clothes, we're going to the bar. That shit don't exist anymore. You can't do that. So yeah, I'm totally in agreement on that side. But what I love with the music aspect is like, yeah, even though you could say, oh, that song was shit, but we could all say we had fun trying. Because that's the cool part. It's just like, yeah, fuck it, let's go. Who cares if you're a critic of ourselves? Because you're a fucking bad critic, man. When you get the harmonica out and you play Heart of Gold, half the time you fucking hate what you do, and all of us are just in awe, being like, this motherfucker can play the harmonica. He's better than all you fucks. Put down your stupid guitar, put down your stupid drums. This fuck's got the harmonica. Let him go.
All right.
And I love it.
I'm going to explain that story a little bit. So you were there the first time I ever played that harmonica for fucking anybody. And it was at that party that you said you're the old guys and we brought the guitars in. And at this point, like, this party was fucking raging. Like, we were going. And like, there's Alex is falling down the hallway, or like people are just fucking drunk. And I pulled out my harmonica was literally just sitting on the table where we were playing. And for some reason, I just said, fuck it, play Heart of Gold. I'll play the harmonica to it. And I remember I played the whole thing, and I didn't even know the last solo, but I fucking just bullshitted something. And I remember putting the thing back in the case, putting it down, like, I fucked up, man. I'm not happy. And you were sitting there, like, you were in awe. Like, bro, you just played Heart of Gold. And I was like, it was shit. Yeah, you're right.
Killed it.
I was like, nope, I didn't. I was so drunk. I was like, nope, I didn't kill it. You're lying. Fuck off. Like, but the big thing with the jam sessions is that's my stress relief. Like, as much as this can relieve me, like, nothing like hearing just loud music and fucking everybody. Like, there's an aura when you walk through that basement door. Your stress goes away and you're just happy. And you're like, I know what's about to fucking happen. We are about to make some loud music. And then the worst part is Nathan now has the laptop set up and will randomly record us while we're doing it. I'm like, please don't do that.
You know what, man, you bring up a point, and I'm glad you pointed at the booze and said that, you know, this is kind of a stress reliever. And you're right. When it comes to booze, I find that if I'm having a stressful day from work or a weekend or a fight with my fiance or buddies, I'll have a drink and it might feel good, but it's a mask. It's one of those things. It's a temporary Band-Aid. It's coming off. Don't you fucking fret about it. It will come off and you will face it again. But when it comes to music and other forms of art, let's like open the whole fucking door to everything. But when you get to just have that moment where, like, our buddy Nathan, your brother, when they shred, when you're on the bass, the harmonica, or when I just get to sing, doesn't matter if we sound bad or not, you take all that shit you've dealt with, all the stress, and you put it into that note. You put it, whether you belt it, you strum it, you smash it on the drums, and it seems to easily float away. You still may face the problem later on, but you come with a whole new set of fucking weapons and just the tools at your disposal. You look at it a different way, where booze is like, oh, I got to fucking ignore it for a little bit and I'm coming back the same way. But our jam sessions, whoever it was with, whether I was with you, them, or other people in my life, I fucking just love letting music just boom, flow right out of you, good or not, whether you're the critic or not. It's fucking awesome. So I appreciate having you to be able to have that moments and have those fun times to friggin' drink and even though we said drinking shouldn't be an outlet, but having a beer and just letting the music fucking go.
Well, there's a difference when you're drinking and getting drunk and laying a stress relief, and then drinking and jamming. You're like, you gotta have a drink while you're jamming. Like, you got it. It's just like the code of the basement. If you don't come with a drink, like I have come without drinks before, thinking I'm just going to jam, and Nathan's like, all right, so here's a beer, here's a weird drink I just made. I don't know what's in it. Drink it. Here's a shot of whiskey, and here's this. I'm like, Nathan, I gotta drive. Like,
and yeah, that's the kicker. It's like half the time, fuck man, we gotta drive. And we're not saying we're gonna make this podcast sound like me and you and the guys who know are alcoholics. No, we don't mind having a beer just to loosen up, just to have fun with, because we like the taste. Why not? But yeah, we're responsible. No one's getting fucked up beyond imaginability. But yeah, it's funny when we look at our shit and all the stuff we've done. Wow, booze is heavily influenced, and maybe that's why the podcast I'm a part of is Mikes and Beers, where it gives me an excuse to have a couple of day drinks and just fucking shoot the shit about God knows anything. Like hell, last fucking one of the conversations we had was me and my co-host. And sorry to jump ship and talk.
No, I was actually trying to jump back to the podcast stuff. Actually, thank God.
Like we had a fucking argument of how like my co-host said that Olaf from Frozen, the Disney movie, is a ripoff of Frosty the Snowman. I haven't seen me and her get so heated with each other in a while, because I was like, are you fucking kidding me? You're saying Frosty is over Olaf? Olaf is a ripoff, and we fucking the little like, because I come into a podcast, so I kind of have me and her have a little post or a pre-session meeting, being like, we're gonna do this for the intro, we're gonna talk about this about the beers. We're going to lead into this topic, end with this, do our outro, and promote whoever we need to. We don't really have a script. We try to stick to that. When she fucking said that comment, well, that script's fucking out the window. I was like, all right, here we go. We're going to war. And we fucking went to war. And that's what I love, when you can have a few beers, people you're comfortable with, and just fucking let loose. I love some of the weird shit you can talk about. And although when you're out of beer, it sucks. Yeah. But now I'm done.
Yeah, I'm almost done. But I didn't listen to your guys' podcast. So because you were coming on, I know, hey, you didn't listen to mine either. You've even told me.
I miss a few episodes for sure. And with other of our buddies and other people I try to follow, whether it's guys I know or guys I met through Twitter or not. Yeah. I don't catch every episode, unfortunately. Like with both our schedules, I'm sure you can attest with work and other things. It's hard to sit down and get everybody in. Yeah. So yeah, I don't harp on anybody when they say they miss a podcast.
So I didn't even listen to the last episode. I was like, you know what? With Woody, I want to listen to the longest episode I could find. I found one that was 54 minutes, and it's funny because it was about the Chronicle beer that you got. It wasn't that one. It was the ones where they had the Pokemon on them. Yeah,
Evolution IPA.
Yeah, and she was talking about, and because I'm not a beer enthusiast. And I'm not knocking you guys for it. This is just this is from my opinion. To me, it was kind of cringy hearing like, oh, you know, I this is too sour. I really like a sour beer. And it's just kind of like, I fucking hate myself for it. Cause I'm like, it's just a cocky way to talk. Like, you know, just like, and it's not knocking you guys. Cause I know you both. Like Sam was my peer helper in high school, and I was a little shit for her. So like, fuck, I feel bad for it. But I mean, like, the weird thing, I've listened to one with Hodder and you and Sam, but the one I did listen to all the way through, and this one's not even on YouTube, is the one with my brother Brandon on it. And that was probably my favorite one. That was probably the most real conversation podcast I've ever heard, because, and I've done an interview with Hodder, and with him, like, you know, he's trying to sound professional, which I get. And, you know, all that. But that night, Brandon just brought out a side of Hodder where it was just like, oh, fuck it. I'm being me. He didn't change his voice. And I hope if he's watching this, I'm not knocking you, Hodder. I'm just like, he's professional. I'm not. That's why I'm the Honestly Lazy podcast. And I'm fucking not anything close to professional when it comes to this shit. And I'm not even good at it. But like, that was the realest podcast I ever saw. And you bouncing off Brandon was the funniest shit I've ever heard.
Yeah, I feel like what helped with a lot of those older podcasts, and again, not knocking my own co-host right now, we came into it where it wasn't a script. It wasn't like we tried to go into that, because I find that now, and I talk about it with Sam, and we've mentioned that even on the beginning of our podcast, when we do the whole opening of the beer and try to do the taste testing. And you're right, we had to mention it multiple times that we're not we don't know what the fuck we're talking about. We just like, we're at the point now, like even with some of the newer ones, you're basically gonna hear us say, this beer's fucking good. Here's the reasons, and done, because we tried to do something new. We tried to reinvent it, and it didn't have that same natural flow all the time. It's still like, we still liked it. It still sounded good. But when it helped on some of those older podcasts, especially like with your brother, it was literally, we just put a microphone and a camera with three, at that time, actually just a microphone, with three buddies, and just said, let's just talk. Whatever is fucking comes. We had to tell your brother, hey, we're not a liberal, or we're not a conservative podcast, but we got to be a little liberal with certain things. Like, avoid these jokes, because your brother does like a large assortment of jokes. It's like, maybe
it goes from very inappropriate to very like, I don't think that's funny, but whatever floats your boat. And that's when I saw because it was a picture you guys posted first of you guys, and I was like, oh shit, what did he do? The first thing I thought, oh shit, what did my brother do on this podcast? I listened to it, talked about your band Giver and how everything went to shit there. And to this day, if I bring up that Giver gig, Brandon you can see something like a vein pop out of his head, how fucking angry he was at that gig. But the next thing is, what happened to Hodder? How come he's not a part of it anymore?
It was one of those. So I'm going to go off what he tells me, because he's the guy who made the decision, and that's just it. I'm going to wait till you get off your fucking phone. This is a professional interview.
Went off.
Jesus God.
I'm not professional. We just went through this. I literally just said, I'm not professional. I'm honestly lazy.
No worries, man. I'm teasing you. But yeah, with him, he always, like, after a while, like I think like about 5 or 6 episodes ago, so that would be, let's just say a couple of months.
Yeah.
He ended up coming to us saying like, hey guys, he got a new job. He was trying to push his own podcast, and he was now an ambassador for a beard oil company, Mean Beard.
Yeah.
So he's like, I got a lot of my time like just filled up. It's very hard for me now to jump on to fit the schedule of you guys, because me and Sam's schedule matched up a little easier. He started to become the odd man out. That was a little difficult. So he's like, I don't have the time. What I've been trying to do, and I'm paraphrasing his words. He's like, what I'm trying to do is, I want to push you guys to doing it. I want you guys to take over the mics and beers, so that way I can still edit. I'll still come on when you need me, but you guys are doing a good job. Just continue, do your thing, and we'll see what happens. And at first, me and Sam were like, what the fuck do you mean you're leaving us? Because he was the guy. He had the experience. He did our editing. He helped like kind of wrangle us in a little bit. Like me and him, more I was doing the script and kind of saying, hey guys, what we're going to do. But he was a crucial part of our podcast. And when he said that, he's done, me and Sam had to have a sit down after he sat down with us individually. And then both of us, we said, okay, this is the route we're going to go. This is what we're going to do. And we developed the script, kind of the different things that we're doing now.
Yeah.
And yeah, TJ was cool with it. We sent him off that first one. He said, okay, if this is what you're doing, I like it. Let's keep going. We changed it up a bit since then, but yeah, we're at a point now where it's a little different. It's a little weird sometimes not having him there, but it is what it is. We still hope the best for him. I still see and talk to him a fair bit. So
for sure.
Yeah, it was
it's not like he's dead. You're going to see him. Like he's helping you guys out. He still edits his day. I've seen you guys literally say that. He's still editing and all that stuff. Yeah. He supports you guys. So, he
just took a step back to say it's your guys' show now. You guys do what you want. Yeah. Just tell me, like, basically when you're done recording, send me the episode, tell me when you want it up. Give me a description and title if need be. He'll help post it all over social media, and yeah, and then that's all she wrote. So yeah, I still wear the shirt. He's still the middle guy, but
yeah. By the way, everyone go check out Mike's and Beer, especially if you're into the craft brewing companies. And I got a feeling a lot of people who watch my shit are from Ontario, so you can actually go check all this shit out. Make sure to check out the Mike's and Beers podcast, because honestly, Sam and Woody have the best fucking chemistry I've seen. It's not like with me, I'm doing a podcast all by myself. Like I just sit in a room and fucking talking to a mic like I'm stir crazy. But from what what Breeze has said, he's like, you can do it on your own. He says that like you can talk to yourself, but the way I do it is I bounce off. So I'll start with one topic, go to another, go back to that topic, and then it'll just keep switching. Yep. And like my girlfriend, because I wanted her to listen to the pre-records, and she said the way that I do it, it's like you have to keep listening, because if you stay on one topic for too long, people zone out. She said, you're so over the fucking place. You have to keep listening because the topic changes. And I do that for 35 to 45 minutes. I don't know how I do it because I don't mean to do it. I just start talking. I go fucking crazy. With my podcast, there's no script, nothing. I just sit down. Here's what I want to talk about. And I go. And it's one take only. I don't redo a podcast ever. I don't even edit the audio. I just upload it. It's a bad way to do it. Yeah, I don't edit the audio.
So you don't go back. I don't know any editing stuff. I remember what TJ said. He would kind of like say, let's say there's a moment where I'm going to, like, if you're watching on video, if I lean back, he might have to go to that certain 2 to 3 second clip and enhance the audio, or he might clean some stuff up. You don't do any of that, eh?
Nothing.
Nice.
Like with, okay, so I just bought this.
Yep.
With this thing, with this Zoom recorder, which I'm like the PodTrack P4. I don't even know what the fuck it's called. Each time you record, you get every single mic input at the front, their own audio waves, so I can edit it better. But if I'm doing a Zoom call with you, like let's say you do lean back. If I only have one audio wave and you're leaning back and you're talking, but I'm talking too, I can't fucking enhance you because then I'm louder and I'm literally right in front of a mic. But I keep my mic and shit at the same level, you know, so no matter what, and I keep it always near me. Like, just wait to my last podcast, the third episode's called I Turned 26. So it's me talking about going from 25 to 26 and how fucking literally everything has changed in a year. And I peak, and you'll be watching me. If you're watching the video, you'll see me over here, and that's me adjusting my levels while I'm talking because I peak, and I'll keep saying, fuck, I keep peaking. But I don't edit that out because it's, to me, especially with the podcast, it's like I look at my inspiration's Howard Stern. Howard Stern is he's my like what I want to do. If down the road, if I was going to do a podcast, it'd be live, it'd be 5 hours long, it'd be a radio show because I fucking always wanted to do that. And literally it's just personalities. That's why I like interviewing you, because you have a wicked ass personality, and you can the bouncing back and forth of conversation helps, because you literally what you just did, going back, starting talking about the podcast. You shouldn't have said sorry. Fuck it, man. That's it's a podcast. You don't have to stay on the same. Joe Rogan has like 7-hour podcasts where it's just all over the place. Like it's just one thing to another. That's the way a podcast should be. And like I'm just getting into listening to podcasts. I don't even know who to listen to. Like you got like what are some of your favorite podcasts? Actually, I'm kind of curious right now. And don't say Hotter Show, because everybody knows that's your favorite besides yours.
So besides them, like I've started listening to a few guys. We've kind of actually met, and it's kind of weird ways that I found them. It was one of those things where I never had a topic of how to find people, like what I would listen to, because I don't really have the time. So when I had a couple of buddies do their podcasts and other guys, I actually met through streaming. Like I do a lot more streaming watching because I want to support them. But with podcasts, it was just guys, when I'm on Twitter, they'd be like, hey, you know, podcast recommendations, here's our stuff, and you get swapping. So we got into, I'm brutal with fucking names. I pull out my phone, but we have to get them all. But Still Loading.
Still Loading is
yeah. So I like them. You know what? Hold on.
Just go on your phone. Fuck it, dude. It's honestly easy, bro.
Let's bust this out, because I want to make sure if I'm going to actually shoot them out. And it's bad. People could be like, how the fuck don't you know the name? Because I don't. I have a shit memory.
Same here, dude.
So I loved actually just seeing the first one, Drunk Theory. Similar to kind of what Mike's and Beers are. They're great team who just shoot the shit when they're having a few beers. It could be about TV, movies, and all that. Girls Beers Sports Podcast.
Oh, that'd be a good one for you, because you're a sports guy. I'm not.
And that's what I try to find with some of the podcasts I've got into is more about. Sorry, I'm just trying to pull up more names so I can actually talk to it a little bit more. It's one of those things where I like natural conversation. So when I find people have a drink or two, loosens it up, and when they're buddies, they have that chemistry. Like I'm seeing another one, the Geeks Hop, Game for a Movie, Next on Stage One. You would get a kick out of Next on Stage One. It's two people who were ex strippers, and they talk their stories. And they kind of just say what they did in the industry, different things they've gone through. Their chemistry is really good. It's fun.
I'm literally looking them up on Twitter right now.
You'll get a kick out of them. Yeah. So Hops Geek News is another one we listen to. sorry, I'm scrolling through because I want to make sure I get everybody.
Oh, it's all good, dude. Relax.
Late Fee Cinema, Game for a Movie podcast.
I did follow one of the movie ones. I saw you shout them out, or you DM'd them or something on Twitter, and I saw that, and I was like, oh, this is a movie one. And I think it was a drinking one. I don't remember. I'd have to look it up.
Yeah, but like those are just a few. Yeah, the Hotter Show.
Me.
Gonna plug them because hey, they kind of made us.
Late Fee Cinema. That's who I follow. Late Fee Cinema.
Yeah, and so just a few of those kind of things. I could just keep scrolling and shouting out everybody. I appreciate everything they do, all the streamers. So yeah, I'm one of those guys. I'm trying to get more into podcasts. But like I said, with my limited time, I stick with the guys I know so I can try to support them more. But
yeah. Well, I'm the same way. Like I've always been the YouTuber, and that was a big thing with me and Hotter. We would fucking butt heads so hard because he wanted me to do podcasting, but I was like, I'm doing YouTube, man. Like I make fun of videos, and I'm still going to do that. The podcast came around because, as shitty as it sounds, it's easier to do than me. Because when it came to making fun of video, I'd make fun of video for an hour, and then I have to cut that down to 10 minutes.
Yeah,
like, and that shit. And there's retakes while I'm shooting. It's a lot of work. I think the longest it took me to edit one video that down to 10 minutes took me 2 days of 8 hours of editing. Like it was a lot of work. This one I was laid off from work, so I had the time. But I mean, sitting at a fucking laptop and editing. And by the way, my laptop was so slow, everything kept crashing. Like it was a nightmare. I switched to podcasting and I listen to Howard Stern. I listen to Mikes and Beers now. I finally got around to it. I'm the same way. I like a regular conversation. There's no scripts. Still loading is scripted, I feel like a lot. But
I get that sense, but it still sounds good.
It still sounds good. Yeah. Oh my God, his setup of video games. Like I have a PS1 and a PS2, and some of the shit he posts, I'm like, dude, I only had the demo of that, and I can't fucking find it anymore.
Oh yeah. Yeah, so
I love beer.
Yeah, I was just say I saw you finish the beer. I'm sitting at a point like I just want to walk off and grab another beer and just say fuck it. But I'm also too looking at the time like, I probably shouldn't, because I still, like I said when we talked earlier in the show, we're adults. We have responsibilities to do. So if I pump another beer into me, I gotta wait that much longer to go drive and get shit done today. So I'm like, I better not have another beer. I better get ready to go do some shit.
Yeah, I'm feeling the same. Well, no, I cleaned my whole apartment because I was like, I literally cleaned I woke up at 9. I was drinking last night, so popped a couple Advil, and then had a shower and cleaned the living shit of my apartment. And I was like, all right, I'm all ready. Checked it. Dude, you have no clue how fucking nervous I was to do this shit. Like, I was nervous more about the video, but like not working. But I was like, oh fuck. This is my second interview. I'm about to somehow offend Woody. Literally, he was like, I'm going to say something. Like, yo, that's my personal life. Don't fucking talk about that, motherfucker.
No. Like, hey, like with me, when we said that earlier in the show, I'm not going to say the agency I work for. I'm not talking about individual information about my kids. I'm not going to say my coworkers' names.
I'm not going to give
I don't like talking about it.
I'm not giving everybody your address, you know.
Yeah, exactly. Like as long as we're not giving out that kind of personal information about either one of us. I wasn't going to be here to talk about some like just very inappropriate jokes. But you know what? You did good, man. This was a good interview. I really enjoyed myself. I'm glad we could finally do this. I've been ducking you for so long. It's it was fucked. I'm glad we could finally do this.
If we're going to end it right now, I got one more question.
Yeah.
When the fuck am I coming on Mikes and Beers with you?
Never. There, that answers that. Thanks for your time.
Never. What? Come on. So you guys ever want to bring hosts or guests on?
So that's the kicker. I think we're at a point, like I'm at a point where I'm sure I could tell Sam, I say we get other people on. I want other podcasters. So I want you, I want guys. Like, I just don't want to bring in buddies. And it's a little selfish reason. And I'll admit it here just on. I don't want to bring on some of buddies who we're going to talk personal stories. So I've openly admitted to certain guys, even that's like, sorry, I'm not bringing you out. Well, why? We're going to have, it'd be fun. I'm like, yeah, it would be. It'd be a great time. And maybe down the road for sure. But when we talk personal stories where we can't bring it back to something, people are going to tune up being like, who the fuck is this? Who the fuck is it? What are you talking? We weren't a part of that.
Yeah.
Where at least me and you, we can wrap it around to different things, talk about our likes. But there's a couple of podcasters who've reached out to us as well as streamers. And it's like,
Nice.
when we get to a point, absolutely. Let's bring you on. We're all small time, but it's one of those things where it's like, we want to do it just to have fun and really connect with each other. But again, like I said, it's a minor selfish reason, because then we can connect to your audience and try to get help for us. We can then take our audience to help you guys get bigger. So it's a nice give and take. So that's what we want to get to. Me and Sam, we're just at a point we are enjoying to shoot the shit with at each other.
Yeah.
So I think when we get a few more episodes in where it's just established, it's me and her, our set, not script, but how our style of doing things, our time limit, everything is in, then yeah, I want to bring somebody back in and be like, yeah, let's shoot the shit. And definitely, buddy, you're on the list.
Yes.
I'd have no problem with that.
You gonna bring Brandon back though, my brother?
No. Fuck no.
No, God no. All right, well, thanks for coming on, man. This is actually, that got me. My jitters are fucking gone for interviews. Thank God.
Good.
But I mean, Jesus Christ. Thanks for coming on. I'm glad I got you instead of someone who, if I ask them something, to get offended. Although you are coming on again, you do realize that you're coming on a lot.
Man.
You're going to come on a lot.
I'm up for that.
And I'm going to try to fucking offend you.
Hey, there's a few things that are easy to offend me with, but other than that, I try to let it roll off.
Well, I know what offends you, but I'm just not. I know what offends you, and I've accidentally done it, and I'm not doing it that way. Because then you'll literally drive out here and beat the shit out of me. Like literally, you'll disappear. I'll have another host on while I'm talking to you, and then you're just going to come through that door and beat the shit out of me. All right. Well, it was good talking to you, buddy, and I hope everybody liked this. Like and subscribe. Go on Spotify. I'll probably do a little intro for this anyways on my own, just to get the shit out of the way. I do my plugs. But all right, it was good talking to you, Woody. Take care, bud.
Take care, buddy. It's good talking to you.